Hi there, welcome through to my channel. It's Valerie again. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 3. Um, it's surprising we already did Episode 3 and we still haven't got over the wedding just yet. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. So in this episode, we got to see two weddings. We got to see Mitch get married, and then we got to see the continuation for because STACIA got married last week. Miguel and Lindy got married last week. Justin and Alexis were the first ones to get married, but unfortunately, Ben and Morgan didn't get married because um, Ben tested positive for COVID, or there was a COVID concern. So we just saw a clip of them, and I think Morgan is still not over the fact that they were not able to get married on time because of the COVID concern. Given that she's a healthcare professional, you'd expect her to be more understanding, but she's giving me Michaela vibes when Zach tested positive for COVID and now Michaela threw a fit. I hope she settles down and I hope, this doesn't derail them. But I remember Dr. Pepper saying their honeymoon would be cut short because obviously of the Justin and Alexis, they seem to be very attracted to one another. They seem to be happy with what they see. Alexis, though, I think as the night went on, she was a bit more intoxicated than anyone noticed. Um, Justin's brother is saying that he's happy, he's come to acceptance. He can see how happy Justin is, so he's now accepted, that this is what is happening. They Alexis got to speak with Justin's family and sort of friends to find out, what to expect from Justin. And I think they all said he can be a bit sensitive. And that's sort of a loaded question, especially when people in previous seasons have kicked off over silly things. I think they should have explained to her what they meant by sensitive unless it was edited out. And on her part, I think the thing is, everybody, it happens every season on Married at First Sight. They talk about sex, sex, sex. Are you going to do it on your wedding night? And it's just like, please, can we talk about something else? It's getting old. So Justin obviously told Alexis he's been celibate, and she then told her friends, and so now everybody wants to know what's going to happen. I am a bit concerned. Personally, I am a bit concerned because most couples that have stayed married on Married at First Sight have put sort of put sex on the back burner and sort of try to get to know one another. I think the only people that might there are obviously some couples that are still married today that sort of went in head first, but they had other things going. They just didn't focus on the sexual attraction, and I've got a feeling that if Justin and Alexis are not careful, they're going to be so focused on the sexual attraction and their chemistry that they're not going to take time to learn about each other. And by the time they do learn about each other, they're just going to derail and things are going to fall apart. We have seen a clip of them possibly fighting in the future. That's all about. Um, I think there was too much excitement. It's good when you see them get excited about their partner, but then I think it's sort of it can go either way. It can either lead to a successful sort of coupling or it can derail the whole situation. And I have a feeling that I, d- I don't know. I said this before. I'm on the fence with them. I don't know whether they'll work. I don't know whether they won't work. I think it's just a matter of time and seeing what arises as the season goes on. And then Stacia and Nate. Stacia and Nate for me. Stacia and Nate, I like them as a couple together. But I think I'm a bit concerned, especially given the way Nate behaved during the bachelor party and when his friends were speaking to him about the wedding night, and someone was sort of saying to him, how will you feel if all she wants to do is the missionary position? And then he said he would sort of place her in the right positions, and it's like that's not the way you should be talking about your wife. How do you think she'll feel? Because I said this last week and the week before that Married at First Sight has a tendency to replay any sort of bad acts that someone might sort of perform or might unknowingly sort of phrases you might say, things you might do, they will replay it until eternity. And I don't know where Nate has been that he hasn't noticed this. And he keeps saying and doing things that won't go down well with Stasia. And so we did see them all celebrating on their wedding night. And it was interesting that one of Nate's friends was talking about how they normally go hiking, how they normally do this, that, and the other. And it's like, he's now a married man. You can't tell his wife that, oh, I look forward to going out with you. No, he should now be doing these things with his wife. If they want to call you or to invite you, that's another thing. But you can't just expect to be involved in their life. You're very close friends with with Nate. You now have to understand that he's now married. And Stacy, I like the way she was very probing because when the girl started crying, she asked, "Are you okay?" I think she could tell there was something there, and Nate seemed very nervous that I think he knows it's going to be a problem. He should set boundaries with his friends. He should have set boundaries prior to the wedding. And this happened again with Henry and his friends. And his friends were saying in a previous season, were saying, oh, we won't respect his marriage because he's our friend. And so I think if you're going to have friends of the opposite sex, you need to set boundaries and you need to have a conversation prior to you getting married and making sure that you have an agreement that won't interfere with your marriage. Um, I think they're both attracted to one another. They both seem happy with one another. Although Nate was more complimenting her physical aspect, I think the other thing he likes is obviously that she's financially secure. I don't know really. I don't know. Um, I think everybody, well, no red flags were raised really, apart from the friends. Obviously, her friends that were sort of his friends, sorry, that were talking about, you know, um, having game nights and stuff. And I think Stacia was very keen to find out who wrote that he's a freak in the bed, which wasn't appropriate given that this is someone who's marrying a stranger. You don't know her, you don't know her parents, you don't know the family. There are things that you joke about, and there are things that should be left until you're more comfortable around one another. So I don't know. I'll see. We'll see what happens with Stacy and Nate. I don't want to say yes or no. We'll see what happens with the two of them, and then from there we go on to Miguel and Lindy. Miguel and Lindy for me are my favorite couple at the moment because I think my only anxiety is Lindy's older brother because I think he's someone who they say they grew up in a religious cult and he's got these ideas and these values that he's expecting Miguel to adopt. And Miguel, I like the fact that he was respectful when he was asked about religion, but still stood on his ground and his own beliefs to let them know that yes, I understand this is something that's out there, but that's not something I believe in. Don't believe in what you believe doesn't mean that I'm going to undervalue, I'm going to sort of minimize that. And so I don't know. I really hope Lindy's brother doesn't become a hindrance in her marriage because I understand Miguel's sister was telling Lindy that, the way we grew up, our mother wasn't there, our father had his own issues, but I won't go into detail. I'll leave Miguel to tell you. And I think she was saying, given what he's been through, it's surprising that he's turned out great. I think that's what makes him sensitive. Miguel comes across as a loving and very sensitive person. I think when his friends were talking and saying that, people have tended, he hasn't been able to when he's expressed concerns, he hasn't then gone and set boundaries with people. And I think because of Lindy and the way she grew up, I think Miguel is the best partner for her because he comes across as patient, as very loving, and very caring. So I think he will have the patience to deal with Lindy and deal with the challenges placed on her because of the way she grew up. So I like them as a couple. I can actually see them making a past decision day. And I like the fact that Miguel was not only talking about their wedding or 8 weeks, but he seems to be reflecting into the future of what their marriage could be, which I think is amazing. Um, Obviously, they had friends there. His friends were trying to tell him, and even Miguel on his part said, I have to make sure that I don't screw this up, which to me lets me know that he's serious about this process. He's found someone, he really likes the person, and he's going to do everything within his power to make it work. I think Miguel and Lindy are a cross of Jessica and Austin and Bennett and, oh God, I've forgotten Bennett's wife from New Orleans. I think it's a because they've got some sort of quirkiness and they've got. I think they can actually work. I think they can actually work if they're prepared to put in the work. They can actually have a successful marriage. And then finally, we have Kristen and Mitch. I never say anything negative about anyone on Marriage at First Sight, but Kristen and Mitch, I don't think they're going to work. The only way they could work is if they are a, um, an AJ and Stephanie or a Beth and Jamie, because Kristen is very hopeful and she's willing to put in the work, but Mitch is very standoffish. I think he was more attracted to her mother than he was to Kristen, which doesn't make sense to me because Kristen is more beautiful than her mom. He saw her mom, he asked, "Is that my wife?" And then when he spoke to the mom and she was asking him, "How do you feel about my daughter?" All he said was he complimented the mom and didn't say anything about the daughter, and it makes you wonder, is it because he's not attracted to her or is it because he has said something and it has been edited out? I don't know. I don't. I I think Mitch's family is anxious because they can tell that Kristen is a nice girl. And I think the anxiety is the fact that they know Mitch and they know the way that he behaves, and they're concerned because of that, of how he's most likely going to turn Kristen off. I think he's going to turn Kristen off, and I think they're not going to work and they're going to ask for a divorce if they don't ask for a divorce halfway through the process. Because I think if he continues the way he is, the way he was talking about the way she's dressed and how he wishes she wouldn't be dressed that way because it's too much. And it's like, this is a wedding day. This is the only time you get to say, I love her so much, and you are just so nice, and you're holding my hand, and just your genuine people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Mitch family is rubbing me up the wrong way, and it's a pity. Yes, Christine talks too much. She's sort of a cross off. She's got a bit of Beth and a bit of Lindy from last season, but the difference is she doesn't blurt out hurtful things, or we haven't seen her do that. So I don't know how she's going to cope with Mitch. I don't know how she's going to cope with Mitch once the excitement for the wedding is gone. And I was surprised that Christine told her dad on the wedding day that she was getting married, and the fact that she didn't bring him a suit. And I don't think we saw the dad after the wedding, after he walked her down the aisle. I think he just walked her down the aisle and just sat in the back and just waited for everything to end. I think she should have got her dad a suit. I think she should have. We should have at least seen the dad have a conversation with Mitch, and I bet you the dad would have, you know, would have seen all the red flags that are sort of there around Mitch. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.